What going on? Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Delani, better known as Delaberry 340, and we're on a journey right now. We're on a 30-day challenge. It's called a Black BookTube is Reading Challenge, where myself and 70 plus other content creators are taking a challenge to alter the YouTube algorithm to remind them that we, the Black book content creators, are here. We are present, and we're showing up and showing out for the next 30 days. So every day for 30 days we are going to post a long form content on our channels. We're going to support each other and remind people that we are here. Anyways, so on today's video, I wanted to discuss books written by Black authors that have altered my mind. And I am so excited to talk about this topic because, you know, as a reader, there are just some books that stay with you, and they stay with you no matter how long ago you read the book. I decided to choose 10 books that are written by Black authors that altered my mind. It's in no specific order. Just know that I think about these books often. I would randomly think about them doing random things, and I feel like they should be on your TBR for when you need a book to alter your mind or you just want something different to read. So let's get into it. Starting off with Fast by Millie Belazaire. I hope I pronounced her last name correctly. This book was recommended to me by one of my line sisters, and I read this book when I was 4 months pregnant. I should not have read that book when I was 4 months pregnant, because I read that book in one sitting and I didn't finish until 4 a.m. in the morning, and I was completely distraught. I was in tears. I was bawling. Like, that book, it broke my heart, but it built it back up in the end, but it broke my heart. And I actually think about that book often, and I really need to get me a physical copy on my shelf. And the crazy thing about it is that I wouldn't mind reading it again. If you have not read it, I highly recommend that you read it, but keep your tissues on hand. Another book that has altered my mind, Cutthroat by Octavia Grant. I don't know what goes on in Octavia's mind when she writes her books, but it can keep going on. It could keep going on, because by the end of Cutthroat, I was just like completely mind blown. And she is definitely one of those auto read authors for me, because I just never know what to expect when it comes to her writing, but I know I'm going to be left shell shocked. And Cutthroat was definitely one of those books. Like, again, just read it. I cannot create a list about books that's altered my mind without acknowledging Monday's Not Coming by Tiffany D. Jackson. I read this book, I think, in like 2023, and I would be lying if I didn't say that I think about this book at least once a month. When I had finished that book, I was so silent. Like, I was so silent that I feel like everything in the atmosphere around me also became silent, because that's just how out of the way I felt by the time I finished it. And thinking back on that book, it's just like, I actually don't have any words for that book other than you need to read it. Like, if you have not read any Tiffany Jackson, or you have read Tiffany Jackson but you have not read Monday's Not Coming, you need to read it. Like, it was so much. This next book, Group Trip by Aria Days. It's a group trip of friends doing group things more than friends. That's all I can tell you. And it altered my mind, because it's just like, there's actually people out there that do that. Not me, but there are people who out there that do that. That's good for them. I'm just happy to read about it. And it's just like, wow. Next we have I, Medusa by Ayana Gray. And the reason why this book altered my mind because of, yes, it was based off of Medusa, but the way how Ayana created the storyline to add in those fictional elements into it and retold Medusa, I was in love. I was absolutely in love. Like, it was so good. Like, I love her retelling, and she did such a fantastic job with this novel. Like, it made me look at Medusa from a different light. And if you can be able to tell a story like that, where I think about a character, whether it's fictional or non-fictional, from a different light, I love you. I love you, and I absolutely love I, Medusa. I listened to the audiobook of it, and as soon as I finished listening to the audiobook, which was great by the way, I went straight to Barnes & Noble and bought me a physical copy because it needed to be on my shelf. It was just so darn good. This next book is another one where I think about this at least once a month, and I'm not even over exaggerating. And I think about this book often because of our current political climate, our political climate, and the fact that this issue still happens to this day. And let me say, my best friend has been telling me to read this book for a very long time, and I just was like, I don't feel like dealing with that trauma. I don't. But we took a trip to the Black Books Matter Fest in Maryland last summer, and I listened to the audio on the ride there and the audio ride back. And Take My Hand by Dolene Perkins Valdez is just a book that sits with you. And it sits with you because the things that were done and described in that book are real. Not only are they real, but they're very relevant to today. Like, it's happening right now, and you don't hear about it. And that's the thing, that it sits with me a lot, because it's like, why are we not hearing about this? Like, why are things not being done to stop this? But of course, with our current political climate, I ain't even gonna get into it, but that was just a sad as hell book. Also, get your tissues ready for that. Yeah, like, it was a lot. It really was a lot. Another retelling, 7 by Latoya Nicole. It's the retelling of Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. Oh, I shouldn't be smiling, but like, I love a retelling, and again, I love when the retelling has me looking at the character in a different limelight, but it doesn't affect the actual character. But it was so good. And if you like polyamorous relationships in your novels, just head to that one. Just expeditiously head to that one. And when we talk about things that make you blush and it makes you like sit up like, we cannot talk about books that alter your mind without mentioning Enigma by C.M. Barnes. I don't know what I was expecting, but it is worth the hype. And that story has so many layers to it. But the basis of it, following the characters and how they navigate those trials and tribulations, and just, being safe in your sexuality and exploring different sexual things, it's mind opening. And it gives you the opportunity to think about, like, oh, I never think about that. If you decide to test out and sample some things mentioned in the book, by all means, do your thing. And like she said, she focuses on sex positivity, and I think that's something that's taboo in our community, and people don't really want to talk about it. And I love the fact that she took this book and she was like, yeah, well, we're gonna talk about it here and in the entire series. Love it down real bad. The next one is Razorblade Tears by Essie Cosby. Is one of those books where it's a lot, but it's meaningful, And it's one of those books that will have you sitting up like, wow, like that really happened. That is a thing. And reading a story, I actually listened to it on audio, and the narrator did a fantastic job. But Essex Cosby with Razorblade Tears definitely tugged at my heartstrings. And again, get your tissues prepared, but also be prepared to be locked in from the beginning to the end, because it is a story. And my final book to mention within the series is Their Vicious Games by Joel Wellington. This is another book that I think about very often because it reminded me of a cross of the Hunger Games. It's like the black version of the Hunger Games and another show, but I can't think about it right now. But I heck was vicious. Like literally, Their Vicious Games, it was vicious. Like I read that book in one sitting, in a few hours. I laid on my couch and I had refused to eat, drink. I did use the bathroom, but I did not eat, I did not drink, because I couldn't believe this is what I was reading. Like this was really happening, and I enjoyed the hell out of that book. It is YA, but it's so good. Like it's so good. So these are just my 10 mind-altering books written by Black authors that I think you should take a look at. You should definitely add it to your TBR, and you should definitely comment down below if you have read them or which ones you are planning to add to your TBR, and let's talk about them. And remember, books don't expire. Buy the book, you can read it anyways. Check out in the next video.